as we're getting into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the green Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is UedSoldier. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Matcherino Esports. It is Demi. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PVZ. Let's go. Now, in Demi's retirement, after Demi's kind of play has changed, has adapted over time. Now he plays a little bit more carefree. Now he has less stress on him, and we've seen a lot of aggression and all-ins out of Demi. We've seen, Demi, historically, he was known for one thing. He was the Muta King. He was the Muta King of the sea, and in every matchup, he would play Muta. He'd play Muta, he'd go mass Muta, and he would excel with his Muta play as well. So that is going to be something in the back of my mind coming into this series, is going into Muta play. I would say it is viable on certain maps. It is viable on Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defensive as well. I would say it's easier to get away with Muta play on Tokamak than some of the other maps out there. Still, it's very niche. It's a very niche build, but it's Demi we're talking about, so we're thinking about Muta play. Another thing that Demi has been known for in recent times, more recent times, is Link Floods. Link Floods and all-ins, cutting workers early on and committing across the map. As I mentioned before, typically back in the day when he was an active player, back in 2020, 2021, 2022, he was known for his mid-game. He was a lot more of a standard player. He was, I would say, the most standard player in Southeast Asia compared to all the others. To be fair, we had some chaotic characters back in the day, like Mio Micah, like Go-Go Joey, another slips my mind, Ender, that's it. Mio Micah, Go-Go Joey, and Ender. They were hyper aggressive and hyper cheesy and very in your face. Demi, compared to all of them, was a lot more tame, a lot more standard, but that has changed in recent times. Like, again, after his retirement, after he stepped away, after he came back, now that he plays a little bit more carefree, we've seen a little more all-ins, aggression, timing attacks. Demi's been having fun. He has been having fun, so we'll see what he goes for. We'll see what he goes for this time, as he does saturate, does rotate, does get his own third or natural up and running. Forsake the unnatural. Natural. UedSoldier on the flip side is typically known for his mid-game play, so we're expecting a standard opener. Gateway, Twilight Council. Oh, hello. That is a Twilight Council first. Este UedSoldier. Okay, this is a rare sight nowadays. This is very rare. Nowadays, if we go into Glaives, we go Stargate followed by a Twilight Council after the Stargate before the third. But here, straight up Twilight Council opener, this could be a couple different things. We pull out. Okay, he pulls out a gas, so you can see 2 and 2, 4 workers mining gas in total. This screams Glaive Adepts. This screams 4-gate Glaive Adepts. This should not be an all-in. This is going to be aggressive. That is true. Very aggressive, but you do expand behind this. So far we have 3 gates. We should be seeing 1 more gateway. There it is. 1 more gateway, so 4-gate Glaives out of UedSoldier. If Demi doesn't scout this, then he could just topple over. So Demi, he's in a little bit of danger here. There we go, Glaives are on the way. If UedSoldier pulls back into gas and gets 3 and 3 from this moment, then he could afford a Dark Shrine alongside this, but you can see he's staying 2 and 2. Staying 2 and 2. So just coming with 4-gate Glaives. We have a safety Roach Warren out of Demi. Demi, he hasn't gone in for a scout. He is on patrol. Also, did I open up? Yeah. Predictions were open. Just a little bit concerned. They were open. And Demi just trying to get a read on what's happening. And ideally, he scouts the move out. Behind this, Demi is droning, and it's safe to drone up to around 40 to 45 workers. Should be fine. But we need that Roach production. And because of the early Roach Warren, Demi should be okay. As there we go, Demi sees the Adepts moving out. He sees a Prism as well. He knows. He's aware we need Roaches. Roaches are amassing. Now, there's no SimCity. A big reason for this is because of the unnatural natural. You can see the creep is only just now getting here. The creep is only just now spreading in this area, so there is 0 wall. Adepts are warping in. UedSoldier is pushing. This is why this can be stronger if you force that unnatural natural base. Queen's under fire. No transfuse. Gets 1. Gets 1. Queen. Ooh, is going to get another as well. Apparently not Lings. They do collapse on the army. Nice trades here with the Adepts. He does clean up every single Zergling. And we're going for the mineral line. Oh. Yeah, we're on A move though. No target firing. Does focus on the roach, not the drones. So Demi's holding. Demi, he's holding. Demi defend. Nah, never mind. I was going to say he's holding. Adepts, they warp in. Adepts, they do get into the main base as well. We have Adepts in the main and shading in as well. He gets torn apart. Demi gets torn apart. GG, well played, as UedSoldier takes game number 1. GG. Demi, he was defending well against the first wave of Adepts, but I didn't notice that a Prism came back into the main base, went for another warp in, and that is what Demi wasn't ready for. That's Demi wasn't ready for, and Demi was losing, or soon to be losing, drones in the main base. GG. GG, well played. He gets torn apart by the Adepts. And again, this hits even harder just because of the lack of SimCity, right? Typically, in a standard opener, if Demi had his natural, he could throw down his Roach Warren and his buildings as a part of the wall at the natural to fully wall that area off, to limit the mobility of those Adepts, to limit it, to be able to focus on the Prism and focus on his 2-base defense and just evacuate the third. But because of the opener, because of the placement of the expansion, there was no SimCity, right? There was no SimCity, so it becomes more difficult to keep up and to rotate. With that, GG, well played. We're getting into game 2, and we'll see if Demi can bounce back and get into his game, because I feel like he wasn't really able to showcase what he's made of here. He was stuck defending, stuck reacting to his opponent, and stuck in the back foot. He was on the back foot, and here we go, spawning in the left-hand corner of Magnatha. We have our green Protoss player. We have our green Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing CSO Esports. We'll see if he can claim the series here and now. It is UedSoldier. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Indian Zerg player. We have the red Zerg from Madrino Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. It is Demi. And I would also, coming into Magnatha, say, oh, it's a large map, you know, there are a lot of bases, a lot of spaces, and because of that, longer rushes to spike ground, Demi could get away with muta play. That's only if he can survive the early game. Only if he can drone up and saturate on 3 bases. That's the first hurdle that Demi has to go through. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can actually get into a 3-base economy. We'll see what UedSoldier goes for instead. As our eyes are mainly on the Protoss. Mainly on UedSoldier. So now we have our hatch gas pool. Standard open out of Demi. This time Demi is able to expand on location. This time he's looking a lot more comfortable, thankfully. Go. And once again, we're just waiting for a tech of choice. Typically, we're expecting just a Stargate and a standard build here out of UedSoldier, but based on what happened last game, he's looking a little bit more sinister. You can see the pylon is placed further back next to the main base, closer to behind the mineral line, so he can hide tech. As typically a Stargate opener, the pylon would be closer to the edge, just to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. So you have my attention. Yep, there it is. He's doing it again. Let's go. He's doing it again. As we are opening up with the Twilight Council, the pylon did kind of lean in that direction. So Twilight Council opener out of UedSoldier. And once again, if he pulls out of gas, pulls 1 worker out of gas each, then we're expecting 4 gate glaives, but you can see he's staying in. He's intentionally staying in gas, which means there's a higher chance this is going to be a DT opener instead. There's one of 2 things. This should either be a Dark Shrine for a DT opener into an Archon drop, or if we go into glaives, we have enough gas for extra gateways. For not just 4 gates, but 6 gate glaive adepts. So we're leaning towards either 6 gate glaives or DTs. River gets thrown down. Without an upgrade on the way, we're expecting the Dark Shrine. Yep, there it is. Dark Shrine has been thrown down. And again, just based on the gases, we do see that Demi, he is still in the dark. He has yet to poke in with his Overlord. He doesn't know what's going on. What's scary here for Demi is that it could be either or based on what he's seeing. What does he see? He's going to confirm that there's no third, at least. And he will potentially get eyes on the Robo, on the Warp Prism moving out. But, I mean, it would look the same as it typically would. As a previous game, I mean. Because we should be warping in the depths. Demi once again going for the Roach one. You can see, again, as we were kind of emphasizing last game, just because of the bases that were expanding, that were being taken, there was no SimCity. Here we have a Roach one as a part of the wall. Here we have the setup here to fully wall off this location against Adepts. Unfortunately, it's not Adepts, right? That's unfortunate reality here. Prism moves out, Forward S move out as well. Demi, he sees this, and again, this looks just like game one. It looks the same. Zero detection. Oh, Demi, no lair, no spores, zero detection. He believes the same build. He believes it's 4-gate glaives. Ay, ay, ay. He's making that assumption. And again, everything looks the same until now. Here come the Dark Templar. Spores, they're just now starting. And they shouldn't finish. Can he save it? Yeah, he does surround. He does surround the Spore. Despite that, damage is still going to be done. Yep. Still does get damaged. He picks off so many drones. But the Spore will finish. The Spore will complete. Still 6 drones going down. A nice start here for UedSoldier. Don't say shade away. And from here, we can morph in Archons. Now, there's no Spore here at the third, so honestly, he could just kill the space. He could kill the third. But from here, we should be morphing in. Oh, actually, we'll give him more damage. True, there's no mobile detection. Picking off Zerglings. From here, UedSoldier expands. And he's macroing out of this. And this is the advantage of a DT opener, is that this is not an all-in. This never was an all-in. It's just a way to get ahead. A way to get ahead. Oh no! Oh, as the Archons get caught out, and they're going to be saved just barely in time. And this is what makes it such a good opener, and why I say opener, because you go DTs first, then Archon drop. And this is to hunt down Overlords, and you can see the Overlords are forced back home as they're being hunted down. You can trade against Zerglings, and you keep Demi busy at home while UedSoldier expands and saturates his third base. Demi has to defend, so UedSoldier is safe as an Overlord goes down. Hunts down the Overlord, keeps splitting him down. Now, the downside here is that your anti-air is going to be more limited, so Demi could respond to this with Muta play, because there's no Blink Stalkers, right? There's Blink Stalkers are not a factor, so you can abuse with Mutas, you can abuse with Swarm Host, true. When you see players go Swarm Host Nidus as a follow-up, it's often against a DT opener, or it's often against an Archon drop opener. Just because without Blink Stalkers and without a Stargate, it's more difficult to keep up with Nidus Swarms and with Swarm Hosts as well. So there are other follow-ups and other tech choices which become more viable. So there's a bit of a give and take. For now though, Demi, he's just committing to Roach Ravager. Soldier does move back. Oh! This Queen's they attempt to intercept. They attempt to. Infestation bits on the way. This might be Swarm Host, but this does feel late. It feels like a bit of a later Infestation pit. But my initial thought here is going to be Swarm Host before Hive Tech and Lurkers. But that's also, of course, a viable option. Is to try to tech up into Hive and try to tech up into Lurkers. But Swarm Host is still on the table. If that were the case, though, we'd be seeing a Nidus Swarm. So we'll see. We'll see if it's going to be the Hive. Now, before we can think about any of that, though, here comes UedSoldier. Here he comes. He's moving out across the map. He's built up his army. And right now, we need as much Roach Ravager as possible. Army gets spotted. Demi's trying to get ready. It's gearing up. 10 more roaches on the way. Yeah, Hive. I was gonna say that if the plan was to go into Swarm Press, it's too late for that, so he's going into his Hive. This should be to tech up into Lurkers. Should be. I mean, we get confirmation if we see a Hydroden. If there's no Hydroden, then this might just be for Viper support. Or Roach Ravager with Vipers, which would help against the Immortals. Ah, there it is. There's a Hydroden. So, Lurkers are definitely on the horizon for Demi. I do believe that UedSoldier should be able to break him before Lurker tech, though. I'm referring to the Storm time. Storm is almost done. +2 is almost done. We're making 2 Immortals at a time. This is a very robust army. It's very beefy. There's a lot of Immortals, Archons, Storm, High Templar, Charge Lots. We're building up a death pool of an army. An army that's can only be stalked by Lurkers. I say that with a good amount of Ling Bane Roach Ravager as well, but there's no Ling Bane. It's only Roach Ravager. So the Zealots are that much more effective. Base goes down. Nice Storm. Storm on the main army. UedSoldier does rotate. Getting on top of the roaches. Nice force fields. Yeah, force fields that lock down some of the roaches. We have some wasted DPS there as roaches there further back. Oh! Cloud Sage who grazed the army when the base goes down, and you can see the UedSoldier is not being stopped. Not like this. He's got too many Immortals, and the roaches, they cannot hold their own. Files are connecting. The files are connecting, but it may not matter here. Again, the soup does lie. You can see that Demi is maxed, but he's maxed out with a subpar army, with Roach Ravager. Roach Ravager is very supply inefficient. So the supply is lying to you. UedSoldier has a much, much greater force here, and what Demi needs more than anything right now is Lurkers. If he can buy time for Lurker tech, then he can hold and he can survive. As that is how many? That's 10 Immortals. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, that's going to be a kill and a cancel. Lurkers are morphing in. Let's go. Again, he needs a little bit more time. We have 3 Lurkers on the way. Can he get to the Lurkers? Can he get there? Oh gosh, the storms are brutal. Get so much value out of the storms. Okay, we got 3 Lurkers. The Lurkers are here, but first Lurker goes down, second Lurker goes down, third Lurker goes down as well. And now there are 0 Lurkers. 0 Lurkers, now we can just commit. UedSoldier just started stepping back here, forcing the army through the storms. And you can see Demi plummet in supply. He had 200, now down to 100. He lost 100 supply in a couple of seconds. As we mentioned, it's just that's 2+ lying. I mean, GG gets called, and UedSoldier, he does claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, Demi just had a really rough start to the game. Winding it back, one of the reasons why Demi fell so far behind was the DT opener did so much damage, killing workers, sniping overlords, denying bases, or delaying expansions, I should say, and containing Demi on 3 bases as well. So Demi, he fell behind. He was trying to recover. Unfortunately, he did overmake roaches. I'm referring to the moments where the infestation pit was on the way. If you remember, he was getting the infestation pit and he had a choice to make, but his hive was delayed because of the move outs. UedSoldier didn't commit, but he moved out with his army, and Demi, he reacted by massing up roaches to survive, and UedSoldier didn't even attack. He didn't even attack, he just poked in, pulled away. He pulled away. Demi, he was stuck with this Roach Ravager. It delayed his tech, it delayed the hive, it delayed his Hygiene, delayed his Lurkers as well. Everything was delayed, and he was stuck on Roach Ravager. It wasn't just because of that move out though, it was because of the early game as well. Like Demi, who was trying to play catch up, unfortunately didn't quite get there. At the very end, he did get 3 Lurkers, but they were focused down immediately. They were the first things to go down. So Lurkers went down. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into our final series of the broadcast. Oh boy.